which is not what I described, not being able to get through the paradigm of min-maxing in the framework of the stat system of the game. What happens in Diablo 3? I don't know if you noticed it. It's quite subtle in that sense. It's quite subtle. You spend the points on that base stat, and you kill enemies so fast to the point you don't have to invest any other point on any other stat of the game. For example, it doesn't need to be health in this case. You can see it some minutes ago. I was spending points on health because I was getting killed way too fast and I couldn't react and I couldn't make use of my damage, of my strength that you see there. Or the resistance is here, or evasion chance, defense chance. The naming convention really does not matter in that sense. What matters is that in Diablo 3, you can, by simply investing points on your main stat, strength for the barbarian or whatever, you can be efficient in combat and you can kill enemies so fast as for the developers to not care about designing a defensive system of the game. Now, what is the consequence of this? What is the direct consequence of this? This is why I incorporate this in the analysis. What is the direct consequence? That you are effectively eliminating 50% of the gameplay mechanics. I'll repeat it. You are effectively eliminating 50% of the gameplay mechanics. Why? Because what can you do in an isometric action RPG at the end of the day? Isometric action RPG is commonly known as the Diablo clone. Precisely, well, there I was perma-stunned. What can you do? You can perform attacks and survive attacks, endure them, receive them from the mobs that follow the same stat rules that you do or similar ones. Well, that's stupid stun. That's stun. I wish I could stun like that monster. There we go. See how fast I kill them, and see how here I'm... Shit, that was quite accurate. See how here... Notice this with the mage here that is giving me so much trouble. See how I'm having a lot of trouble dealing with a single mob. This would never happen in Diablo 3. In Diablo 3, it would never happen in Diablo 3 because of what I just described, with a lot of theory, but you can see here the empirical evidence. See how many evasive maneuvers, let's say, I had to perform to deal with the mob, to lure the rest of them. You would never see that in Diablo 3, but why? Why? Because that's the key. Reviewers never pay attention to why things happen. We don't rationalize them. I review games, precisely. Today this is leisure gameplay, but I generally review games. Flying Energies, for example, or District can attest for it, or Patrick, or Ambra, or Phantom, viewers of the channel, or Crowbar, or Pekarin. That's the thing. We never rationalize why, and that is why. In Diablo 3, when in a lot of modern isometric action RPG games, you kill mobs so fast to the point the developers of the game don't have to put effort into designing a defensive system for it. You see? They don't have to care about a resistance system. That one would be a passive one. Active ones are more effective. They don't have to care about the evasion chance. You don't have to care about evasion. The player does not have to care about evasion chance. The player does not have to care about luring enemies like this. Does not have to care about, I don't know, blocking attacks if he has a shield and reducing the amount of damage. I don't know. Those things, because your basic attacks, the paradigm of min-maxing, you min-max, you spend all of your points on base attack damage, and that is enough to be efficient in combat. But the consequence is that you are eliminating 50% of the gameplay mechanics. The defensive portion of the game doesn't exist. That is what I mean with not being able to transcend the paradigm of min-maxing. And with all of this huge framework and explanation, Bet you can see by now, because of all of the evasive maneuvers that I just performed, because of the several defenses that for example, I have some resistances here. The resistance system, this one would be a passive one. Evasion chance in Sacred 2, for example, in another game. But in TitanQuest, because of all of those maneuvers, because of the stance of the enemy, or whatever, some deal damage over time as well, there's a defensive system in place that the player has to master to be efficient in combat. What does that cause? It increases the concept of depth that I laid out previously. It enhances the replayability of the game through depth. Objectively defined, remember we can never define concepts in the analysis in relative terms. Relative terms is defining something tied to another element. We have to define them in absolute terms. The depth, the amount of time it takes for the player to master and be efficient in combat, is increased in a game that, of course, has a defensive system in place that the player has to master. In this case, TitanQuest or Sacred 2 with the evasion chance and the relic system. That one has an interesting system in which you actively swap your elemental resistances actively with relics, instead of just having passive resistances here derived from your gear, which you also have. But then it has a relic system in which you swap your relics with hotkeys on the keyboard fast. And you need to do it fast because of the type of damage that they deal, that the bosses deal. I think the lag went away. It was that forest. I think it went away. It was that forest. Pretty much. Yeah, it's that happens sometimes with older games, in that sense. I think it was that forest. Now that there's no forest around me, it's a bit better. I would say it's smooth now. Well, precisely that, people. The paradigm of min-maxing is a huge problem in Diablo 3, and here you have a perfect example of precisely the basic maneuvers that I had to perform to avoid those stuns. For example, a clear example of having to master a defensive to create a defensive strategy to deal with the enemies in the game. And Diablo 3, for example, I think that's a huge flaw that it suffers from, without a doubt. Oh, boss! Oh, I remember this guy. Careful, he deals a lot of damage. But there you can see. That was fast, but he doesn't have a lot of defenses, and he bleeds and he gets poisoned. Alright. Time for our second round, people. I think we're pretty much at the end of the game, huh? I think we're pretty much at the end of the game. We just need this, and then is the Titan boss fight, which is the ending of the base game. And then I just do the expansion, and I can access legendary difficulty, people. Alright, we need to deal with that ball there. 12 potions won't be enough. Hang on a second. Let me open a portal. Oh, they made a mistake there. What's going on there? Is because of the extended field of view of 1440p? Yeah, it has to be like that. It wasn't like that back in the day. It wasn't like that back in 2010, back in 2006. That's because of the extended resolutions. Curious phenomena that happen with when you update older games. But well, I wanted to cite that as an example, so here you could see another perfect example, like I mentioned it with Dragons and Online, that you can have an isometric action RPG, not Diablo clone. Those say Diablo clone, people. You know why? Because Diablo clone, to classify the genre, basically does not describe what the game is. If I say isometric action RPG, I'm objectively, once again, describing the angle of the camera, the genre of the game, the fact that there's an RPG component to it, a lot of things that if I just say Diablo clone, it really does not. It really does not describe it objectively. In that sense, I was mentioning it to Patrick at the beginning of the stream, precisely to another viewer. That all right, here we go. All right, that's what killed me. Let me reclaim my experience. Hopefully, I could risk trying to kill it first before reclaiming my experience. That would be risky. There we go. No, it's that attack. Let the poison do the job, people. You'll see how the poison will do the job. You'll see. You'll see how the poison will do the job. There, it's also draining its mana, as you can see there. Alright, what's that? Oh, you got mobs. You got mobs for me. No worries. See how the game is forcing me to study and observe. Similar to Dark Souls in that sense. When to attack is forcing me to think when to attack, when to not do that. The thing is that the reaction time was brutal there on epic difficulty, and it's a one-hit kill. But there, see that there's a defensive aspect to it. That even if I could relatively easily make my way here, the boss is quite a challenge. In Diablo 3, when's the last time you saw something like this in Diablo 3? Quite difficult. Show your fire resistance. Tom Aska, hello, welcome to the chat. Show your fire resistance. 35. 35, 35, 35, 35, 35. I know it may be a bit low, but minus 30. Minus 35. You mean it deals more? No, wait. I'm taking amplified damage? Minus 35. Yeah, I'm reducing. I have some resistances, except for... I have some resistances. I'm using my old build from 2010. I'm playing it on epic difficulty to unlock the Embers expansion. Yeah, it's pure attack. It's pure attack. It's pure damage. I just need to know how to avoid the one-hit kills there. It's because of the difficulty, basically. You played this game, Tom. You played it because I know it's quite old. TitanQuest 2 was released recently, and I know it's quite old. Yeah, you played it. Could you finish it on the new difficulties like this one? Because for me, it's a new experience. It's a new experience. Because you know, I played it back in. Well, I'll tell you my story. I played it back in 2010 when it was the original release on normal difficulty. I did every single side quest. I can show you my normal run of it. I did every single side quest, and then I realized that I couldn't access the Embers expansion because you need to be on legendary difficulty. But to get to legendary difficulty, I first need to get through epic here. There we go. I need to avoid. It's a one-hit kill. That attack is a one-hit kill. Here we go. I got it. See the insane amount of damage that I'm dealing. It's level 63 and I am 55. That's a draw. Worked. That's a draw, people. I told you I deal insane damage. How many deaths do you have? Yeah, I had a lot. I remember from... I think it was secondary stats. 105 with my playthrough of 2010 on normal difficulty and this epic difficulty. 105 total. I did all of the expansions with every single side quest on normal. 105 deaths. And this epic, I just started it 3 days ago. Why is it? Are they way too much? Are they way too much? 105. Nah, no worries. I like playing the game like that. Why do you have only one skill? Because my build is like this. I designed it back in 2010. That insane amount of damage that you see is part of the build I designed back in 2010. It's the single attack build. The single basic attack build. Here, I'll show you. I bet you'll appreciate this if you played the game. Here, as you can see, my basic attacks deal the poison damage from the rogue mastery here. They deal this. they deal bleeding damage going over the cap. That's how I could deal that insane amount of damage that you saw. Because consider I'm level 55 and that ball was 62, right? It was 62. Yes, I should farm a bit. I am a bit of at a disadvantageous position. but yeah. Consider that 7-8 levels of difference and I could kill it. It's not that bad. All of the damage here, I can explain you the build. All of the damage is concentrated through the basic attack. Why? I deal poison, I deal bleeding. I also have enhanced physical damage here. I have enhanced attack speed, not with this one, it's another one. This one also enhances physical damage. This one deals extra damage every 6 attacks, something like that. And here the attack speed, here, and here it's an arc for AoE. It deals damage to adjacent enemies, for example. And this one as well. All my basic attacks, and here I will show you also my gear. You need the gear to see the build. As you can see, my attacks, unusual skill build, and I think it was a smiley face, but it doesn't have the points. It's my original build from 2010. I started replaying the game like 3 Thursdays ago, as I'm playing another one called Dragons and Online. I review games here on the channel, generally on Tuesdays, and on Thursdays I do leisure gameplay. Gameplay that I would do offline on my own. You can see that a level 55 character could not have been done in 3 days, people. Pretty much. So I wanted to, with the release of TitanQuest 2, in case you don't know, TitanQuest 2 was released, in order to get ready for the release to play it on my own, offline, not for the stream precisely, Tom. I pretty much wanted to finish the first one. Here I'll show you the rest of my build so you see the logic, because otherwise you must be thinking that I suck, and it's not the case. It's very well thought out. As you can see, I deal very fast speed, but well, basically I wanted to finish the Embers expansion that I could never do so back in 2010 because I had to go to law school. Basically, that's the thing. Back in 2010, I did every single side quest, normal difficulty, all of the expansions. I did the Immortal expansion. Then 1 year later, I did all of the new ones with the Legacy edition as they released them to 2015, etc. And now, 10 years later, I came back to the game. I decided to add it to the stream because the rest of my viewers like isometric action RPG games. What weaknesses does this build have? What do you think? A lot. All builds have weaknesses. Mine, the lack of range, for example. I need to touch I need to attack once, at least, the mob to activate the poison, the bleeding. I also do mana drain. I also slow their attack speed. I think it was in the gear, derived from the gear here. Slow attack there. Slower attack for 3 seconds derived from the relic, as you can see there. If I cannot get to the mobs, that's why the range is one of the weaknesses, I cannot activate the poison and the bleeding. And because of that, I can be surrounded and killed. The second weakness, besides the melee range, is that I'm like a glass cannon. A melee glass cannon. I deal quite high single target damage because you can see that I'm at 55 and I'm going up against monsters level 62 because I'm not farming. I'm rushing through epic difficulty to get to legendary and unlock the Embers expansion. So I would say the range first, and not having a lot of defenses. To mitigate it, I'm increasing my health now. I'm kind of like balancing the stats a bit. So it's like a glass cannon. I think you don't have much AoE damage. It does. The thing is that it's quite fast. As the attack speeds... as the attack speed gets faster, right? It it's quite abstract. It increases. Well, wait for the Emperor to finish his discourse.
With the Titans only to surprise and deceit. However, their tricks will not work a second time. The gods banished all the Titans except one. In
Typhon.
their hubris, they imprisoned the one they hated the most, Typhon, under a mountain. He was eternally chained to that which he wanted to rule, but could never possess. Now, the gods' hubris may be their downfall. Typhon
This game is amazing, people. I highly recommend it to anyone who liked Diablo 2 or played Grimdawn modernly, because you will see the origins of the 3D isometric RPGs. Here, I'll tell you, I do the AoE damage. It's just that it's so fast that it's difficult to spot because it has no animation. When here in the skill tree, you can see it if I highlight it. As I increase the attack speed, right? I increase the attack speed of the basic attack, derived from there, from the onslaught. It increases the probability to proc, to trigger this, not this one, this one, the crosscut. It increases the probability of the crosscut, that as you can see has a 90 degree arc of attack with a 10% chance of being used, with 2 targets maximum, and it causes bleeding. Now, 10% is quite low, I know, and you are right about the weakness about that, but as the attack speed gets faster, at 8 levels of charge, really it's 10%, but in a quite fast scenario, because it's also complemented by the fact that the blades deal that I only use very fast blades. Because of that, as I deal damage, the chance of proccing is still 10%, but is so fast that it has, for example, there you can see that you can see the numbers around them. You can see that I didn't only touch one of them. You can see there that the damage is distributing. But the problem is that I'm a quite fragile glass cannon. If I cannot perform several attacks, then it cuts my damage potential. That's the thing. In the case of that specific enemy, well, it's a hard counter because they don't bleed and they cannot be poisoned. I should have a second set for it, but no worries. I don't take it that far because I love my build. I don't know if it's a quite unique build. I don't know if you've seen it or not. I designed it myself back in 2010 without using any guide or anything. Maybe it's because of that I was commenting it. I designed it myself. You can steal health from them also. Well, that I cannot poison them. They cannot be lit on fire. They are not. Yeah. That's the thing. They are a hard counter. Pretty much all constructs are a hard counter. So yeah, my attacks also steal mana. That's the strategy I do for bosses. I steal mana from them, and they cannot perform their special attacks. Oh well, I forgot about the fountain there. So yes, it's my original build from 2010. It's my original build from 2010. But well, enemies that can bleed, you can see. But I know it's quite fast, but if you pay close attention, if I don't get killed, you can see that there you could see that 3 of them are taking damage. For example, there 2 of them died. There, 2 again. The thing is that it gets a bit fast and it's difficult to spot, but it's the key. Maybe it's weird because it's a build. I don't know what skill trees the community has developed over the years. Because as I've said, I played it back in 2010. Then the expansions of the enhanced edition, as they released them, 2015 I think it was, something like that. And then I didn't play it. I said, well, when I realized, oh, I cannot access the Embers expansion without getting through epic difficulty, I got a bit discouraged. I don't know if it happened to you if you got to legendary difficulty, but well, there, for example, you can see I hit both of them. There, again. When you hear the sound, it's the adjacent 90 degrees strike. That's the thing. I don't know how weird my build must be. The main thing is that you like the build yourself. Yeah, I love it because I designed it as I was much younger before going to law school. You can see that the yellow ring, as the yellow ring gets bigger, as the yellow ring, because I designed it myself back in a time. I don't know if you like old school games. You probably like old school games, like my followers and viewers over at Discord and on the channel, because I generally play quite obscure games. This one is not that much. I'm doing it for personal reasons, but um, I am proud that I designed it back in a time in which online guides weren't a thing. Online guides weren't a thing, so I'm proud of it. Like it I think the fact that I am 10 levels, well, 10, 7, 8 levels below them, and I'm surviving. Like, look at that, it's 61. Well, 6 levels in this case, but the bosses are a bit higher. 57 there. That some of the bosses are quite high. For example, the ball there that you could see. Uh, and I am making through it. I'm proud of it, as you can see. I'm proud of the build. Another thing that it does, that they do my basic attacks, they slow enemies. They drain the mana and they slow enemies. So if the boss has a lot of health, the mana drained will ensure that he won't be able to activate any more special attacks. Quite good. But yeah, the other thing, for example, this one is at least, I don't know if bleeding or poison, but it's taking some of the damage. Quite unusual build, you would say. I don't know if you are in touch with the builds that they run modernly for the game. Sorry, I have to go. Good luck. No worries, and thanks for visiting the stream. Hope it was enjoyable. I generally do the reviews and everything. So yeah. Oh, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being the 54th. You are the first. Follower after I reached affiliate. I reached affiliate yesterday. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and hopefully it was enjoyable. I generally do metaphysical reviews and those things. About games, you can check out my bots. You have it. It's quite complex. Thank you for your company. I always deeply appreciate people. And I won't forget you because you are the first follower after I reached affiliate yesterday. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And well, of course, my build, I can feel free to mimic it and be happy with it, people. I know that for a lot of people, performing basic attacks is not quite interesting, but I love how the speed increases exponentially immediately as you activate the basic attacks. I like seeing that because of the concept of alacrity in Star Wars: The Republic. My favorite game is Star Wars: The Republic, and pretty much with the lightning skill tree, you increase your attack speed, and in this game it's quite similar. What I do here, it's quite similar. It's quite similar. So yeah, people. Well, hopefully, at least I know it's a quite unusual skill to see in use. The weakness is that precisely. It was a quite amazing. It was a quite precise and sharp question. I loved it because yes, we generally don't analyze the weaknesses of a skill trees that we have, people. And yet here I know that the limitation is that that's why you need to be good at dodging with this. Not like dodging with your stats, but physically evading the attacks like this. So I can see how all the poison is dealing with them, and now we reactivate and it accelerates it. It also has a small stun, but I think it's I forgot to mention. I think it's a 2% chance or something like that. It's so low that I don't take it as part of the rotation. I have an idea, people. Besides, precisely. Besides, that's the thing, people. If there's one thing I'm proud of, is that you are watching pretty much one of the oldest skill trees ever designed for the game, because of when I played it. So, so yeah, pretty much. You're looking at one of the first skill trees of the game, technically. Before everyone played it back when the enhanced edition released. This is like a build from the legacy edition in that sense, people. Yeah, I have to adapt to some things. After reaching affiliate, some things changed for the stream, and I have to adjust them. I see that there I should configure the bot for the announcements and that shit. I will probably add some message about metaphysics of the channel so I don't have to repeat it constantly. No, what I'm interested about is that the bots will stay up for 15 days instead of 7. That's a blessing. As you can see, also my poison damage is improved in its duration and the depth of the damage, how much damage it deals. This one, I think I left this one 10 years ago ready to pick. Adds a chance for poison to cloud an enemy's mind, sending them into a state of confusion. 1 active energy cost per second, 15 times to fumble attacks. This should provide the defense. I honestly, the thing is that I don't know if this one, no, this one replaces the normal attack. For example, this one is another passive that I can add. I left everything ready. I love that I left everything ready 10 years ago to play the game then, people. I left everything ready in the skill tree 10 years ago to then execute it. And it's working, eh? It's working. It's perfectly working. Like I said, I will leave everything ready once I finish Lost Crew. And I like to stream games to people as I see this new tendency. Twitch wasn't a thing back in the day. You can see, well, these ones are at 54. These ones aren't a problem. But the bosses. Okay, I think we'll make it to the final boss today, yeah? We'll finally see if it will be surprising because a build that was designed precisely 10 years ago made its way through epic difficulty 10 years after. Things that are built properly do stand the test of time. You know, people that I love history, and you know what was what a tradition was back in ancient Rome. My Italian ancestors, pretty much, in all of us, because Romans weren't only Italian. It was then spread throughout all over our beautiful European continent, in that sense. I'm in the Americas, but I'm also Italian, so yes. Citizenship, not just blood, in that sense, not just a bloodline. And pretty much, it was a tradition. It was a tradition that for architects, for example, when they created a building, when they erected a building, the way they verified it was properly constructed was that when they did the first removal of the pillars sustaining the, let's say, the prototype construction, not the final one, before the building was officially inaugurated, officially ready for use, the architect had to stand below the pillars that were about to be removed until it was officially inaugurated. Quite interesting if you think about it. I know that nowadays that would be quite cruel, illogical, and stupid. But if you think about it, 2000 years ago, it was a quite sophisticated method, considering that in 99% of the world, all around, outside of the Roman Empire, we only had steel huts made of either mud or I don't know, wood, for example. And here they were already using cement for it. In that sense, they were already using. You know that the why the constructions of Italy last so much, even to this day, the Roman Colosseum and etc. You know why? It was not only because of this technique of making the architect risk his life in the inauguration of it, um, but also the fact that the material used was not only cement, it was combined with ashes of volcanoes. That's why they last so much. I didn't know this up until recently. With the ashes of volcanoes and those things, that when the that as time passes, the material, the glue, let's say, it's actually the cement with the with the with with the ashes of a volcano and everything, it gets harder as time passes, and so much time has passed that it's gotten so tough that is the opposite of our construction materials. Nowadays, that would be incredibly expensive to do because it's difficult to create the mixture of the materials. But yes, that's why the Roman Colosseum, for example, in my beloved Italy, does not fall of the Tower of Pisa or those things. It's because our materials nowadays, our modern materials that are used for our buildings nowadays, they are meant to lose grip as time passes. That's why they are subjected to controls. Those buildings, the material, they somehow, in their amazing ingenuity and brilliance, they made it in such a way that the material gets stronger as time passes. The opposite effect. Uh, I still think that since 2,000 years have passed, it's not justifiable. It's not actually correct that our modern materials actually degrade rather than improve over time. Instead, I think it's not justifiable because of this. But well, yeah, it is true that constructions would cost a lot to do it like that. But I always find it fascinating that things, facts that happened 2,000 years ago um, can still surprise us even today. In that sense, that's why people quite interesting. Well, bet you got something interesting besides the metaphysical analysis that I do on the channel. In that sense, um, so yeah, see if human brilliance uh, should be praised in that sense. Aha! Look at that, the bleeding and the poison. They are doing their job. They are doing their job, people. They are doing their... Oof! Boss monster. Careful, careful, careful. Here, I have a lot of attack speed. Here, I touch. Touch. The poison should kill them. I think it's gonna kill the boss, huh? I think it's gonna kill the boss. Yep. There you can see it. That's the build for you, people. You could see how fast it propagates. But that one could barely see. And they were level 62. They are 10 levels above me. Quite an unusual build. I don't know. I was going to ask precisely, Tom and everyone else, if it's really that uncommon to see this build. I don't know what modern builds they use in TitanQuest. This is my original build from 2010. In that sense, I don't know how common it is. I designed it myself. I was a young lad. I think I designed it when I was yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it must have been 18, 19 at most. Yeah, yeah. Right before going to law school. Yeah, I designed it back then. Pretty much. 18, 19, I designed it with that. I'm proud of that. Well, it's like the Roman Colosseum. The build is making its way through epic difficulty. You know that most of my gear is from normal difficulty, right, people? It's from normal difficulty. It's not from epic difficulty. My gear is also outdated. See if it's working. Well, I swapped but for example, this sword, the dagger of Basmona, is from from normal difficulty. The pendant here, the artifact is from normal difficulty. The graves here are from normal difficulty. But more importantly, the profound lamellar bracers of vitality are from normal difficulty, and also the rings. I just swapped last stream. Not by the end it was. I think I had finished it. I did it offline. The helmet, the sword, I changed because my previous sword was, I think it dealt 40 damage instead of 70. It was way too much. And the chest guard, pretty much 3. The rest is from 10 years ago. All the gear. They were objects created 10 years, dropped 10 years ago by the game. In that sense, before it was in the legacy version, not the enhanced version. This is the enhanced version of the game.
You can't carry anymore.
So yeah, I highly recommend for those of you who like isometric action RPG games. I highly recommend you Sacred 2. I highly recommend you, of course, if you haven't played the classics of the genre. I'm a staunch defender of playing the genres more or less. Of course, there are games that are unplayable, but more or less in the order of release of those that kind of like redefined that improved the innovation of the genre. The 5th category of the analysis. I review games, people, here on the channel. In case you cannot see it because I'm doing leisure gameplay today, but generally I do reviews of games, and generally the innovation is one of the categories of the analysis that you can see defined here. Redefine the games that redefine the mechanics of the genre that they belong to. For example, for this genre that is isometric action RPG, I would tell you first Diablo 2. If you want optionally Diablo 1 because you can see the previous style, and if you like Diablo 1 then Fate, otherwise Diablo 2 then Nox. I would include Fate here after Nox mandatorily, because it's the predecessor of Torchlight, and you have the enhanced edition that was recently released. I think it was Reawakened edition or something like that. It's a predecessor of Torchlight. Then after that one, you have to play TitanQuest, for example, because this one is the one that fixed 3D isometric action RPG games, the point-and-click system. If you don't play them in that order, for example, you won't be able to and you go, I don't know, you go straight for Diablo 3, I don't know, or Grimdawn, or any modern game, or Path of Exile, or I don't know, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. That is quite amazing as well. I need to play it. That one I saw it and it's quite good. Victor Bran, or I don't know, Warhammer Inquisitor Martyr. If you play any of those without playing these ones, you won't be able to appreciate the point and clicks, fix the process of fixing the point and click system of the game, of the genre, sorry. So the clicks are precise, like this that we take for granted nowadays, of pointing and clicking like this, in 3D isometric action RPG games was quite uncommon. Think about games like, if I cite more obscure examples like I did at the beginning, like Loki or The Hand of God, for example, you will see that it's not precise, the point and click system of it. It's not precise. And because of that, hey, I returned to the city? So it's, I returned to the city, people. No, please, the nightmare continues. Then I bet I will be able to get through the other door now. It's the only exit, pretty much. Here.
The forest of the ancients lies to the east.
Yes, open the door.
Lies beyond these walls. Monsters pound on this very gate. If you insist, I shall unlock the doors. You know what you're getting yourself into.
Yes. I did it. It was like a bit of backtracking. See how the damage is spreading there. Okay. Perfect. I need more potions. There's a boss monster. Careful. It also slows them. And now I'm fast, and they are slow. Like that prophet. You need people. Potions. We need more potions. Potions make the world of TitanQuest rotate. As we say that money makes our our world work. Verify that one is quite cool. I'll keep it. The rest is immediately sold. Not that one. That's a relic. You can see that I'm trained with this game. I'm fast enough as to sort through all of the equipment at incredible speed. That one might be useful because it's a legendary there. Here we reorganize. Here we reorganize. This comes over here. This comes over here. Over here. There. And here. Oh well, I could have organized like this. Oh, doesn't matter. Perfect. Good. No, I generally like putting the relics to the left, but I will. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let's keep going, people. So, pretty much... here I had one free sample. So, there.
I'm going to ask to get reassigned to record keeping. This job is...
Alright, let's go. We can proceed. Alrighty. Nasty stun. And as I was mentioning, people, why am I recommending all of these games to you? To play them in this order. Because if you play Diablo 3 immediately, like a lot of people do, you won't be able to appreciate the style of Diablo 1, the style of Diablo 2. You know that in Diablo 1, for example, is one dungeon after the other. There are no continents. There's no sense of traveling through continents. It's just dungeon, 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 Diablo 1. The same goes for Fate. So it's nice to see how the genre was born in that sense. But no, it's a deeper meaning. It related to the topic that I talked about previously, about breaking through the paradigm of min-maxing in isometric action RPG games. Diablo 3 does not break through the paradigm of min-maxing in isometric action RPG games because of what I described. In Diablo 3, sorry, not Diablo 2. In Diablo 3, you kill enemies so fast that the developers of the game don't have to spend time designing a defensive system for the game. You kill the enemy so fast that you don't have to care about defense. The player does not have to care about defense, and that lowers the extra complexity of the gameplay mechanics. That's the thing. Effectively eliminating 50% of the gameplay. Precisely because of this. See that in this game I have to dodge, retreat, move, to avoid the stuns. I take evasive maneuvers. In general, defensive behavior by the player. In Diablo 3 you won't need to do that, because it cannot transcend the limits of the paradigm of min-maxing in the framework of the stat system. As I've said, once again, I don't want to get repetitive, but just so everyone watching this also as a YouTube bot has a clear idea. Min-maxing as a phenomenon is that you spend all of your points on a single stat, and because of that, you can be efficient in combat without caring about your defense. In that sense, effectively eliminating 50% of the gameplay mechanics. Because why? You, in an isometric action RPG game like this, you can perform two actions: attack and defend from attacks caused by the mobs, produced by the mobs, right? If I, in Diablo 3, picture this, I can kill the mobs faster than the amount of time it takes for the game to design a defensive system, and I don't have to care about doing this. For example, you can see here that I'm being forced to retreat, lure the enemy, avoid the projectiles, like that, drain the mana, execute my attacks. Here, for example, it had a cooldown, it had a final cooldown, a final ability that literally stopped me on my tracks. I had to go back again and attack. See that there's a back and forth complexity of the gameplay mechanics. In Diablo 3, you go kill AoE, go kill AoE, go kill AoE, because it doesn't have these mechanics implemented into it precisely, and that degrades what I've been describing, the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. You can only attack, and you can only and you can only attack, and you don't have to care about defense. Really, you don't have to care about defense in Diablo 3. You just deal such an immense amount of damage that the developers don't have to put in the effort to research about creating a defensive system. Either evasion chance, block chance, elemental resistances, usage of cooldowns, adding stuns to the mobs so the player cannot, you can see it here, I cannot just go ahead and kill the mobs. I have to retreat, strategize my positioning, care about my positioning, that's the thing. Care about my positioning, deploy my damage over time, make it work, give it time to work, and then go back again. That's the thing. That's the thing, people. So you can see that all of that increases the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics, and that enhances the replayability of the game through depth rather than content, as I've said. So because of that, I highly recommend you play those games that I mentioned. Play Diablo 2. If you want my honest opinion, play Diablo 2. Play Nox. Play TitanQuest before you play Diablo 3. Because that way, you will be able to then spot in modern exponents of the genre, like Diablo 4, like Diablo 3, like, I don't know, Path of Exile, which ones actually force the player to break through the paradigm of min-maxing in the framework of the stat system. Right? Which games force the player to actually think about a defensive strategy, effectively enhancing the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. Good. Checkpoint, people. Checkpoint. One of my favorite words in games, alongside level up. Indeed. That's why I highly recommend you don't just jump directly straight to Diablo 4, Diablo 3, or Path of Exile or whatever, because that way you will be limited in your capability of judging if the developers could break through the complexity of the paradigm of min-maxing in the framework of the stat system of the game, thus enhancing the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics that the game could potentially provide to you or not. As I mentioned previously, since I played Titan Quest before Diablo 3, then I could criticize it because of this fact. Because in Diablo 3, here, for example, here you have the perfect empirical evidence, people. See that I'm being forced to retreat, and I have to evade that stun. See that now I will have to deploy. See how here I'm blocking the projectiles. Positioning. See, when's the last time, and even so I couldn't get through it. When's the last time you saw this in Diablo 3 or 4 or most modern isometric action RPG games? In most of them, you don't see it. For example, here, I deploy the poison damage. Now I have to retreat and wait for the poison damage to kill the mage. That was the main threat. There you can see that I killed it, that I killed the mage. Here, it was way too fast because the other one also stunned me. I should have been more patient. For example, here you can see that there's a back and forth forced upon the player in that sense. That strategizing, that demanding that positioning. There I think my attacks missed. They must have had some kind of cooldown. There you can see that it's forcing me to approach the encounter with specific positioning and care, depending on the mob. Those mobs, I think they stun you. They have that nasty stun, so I have to deal with that. But for example, others are immune to some kinds of damage or whatever. And basically, as you can see, the point is that all of that enhances the abstract complexity of the gameplay. Damn it, that stun is quite brutal. See, it's forcing me to retreat, to get out of range, as the poison deals its damage, does its job. There, the poison is doing its job. I wait for the health to recover. I have to do it like this. See, when's the last time you see something like this in Diablo 3, for example? There you can see it. There you can see it, people. For example, for example, as a brief example of how a game can add a lot of abstract complexity. There's a back and forth. You have to retreat, contract, and then expand and attack. You don't see that. See, you have here I dodge, I distribute the poison. I hopefully they have fire damage. That's the thing. They have fire damage. They have fire damage, people. They have fire damage there. It's quite tough. It's getting quite tough. It's the ending of epic difficulty, pretty much, of the base game. It's getting quite tough. But there you can see. You don't see those things nowadays in a lot of modern games, for example. I can do this one. They're 6 levels above me, though, right? Most of them. Here we have more mages. Those mages are brutal. Damn it, I hate those mages. I couldn't. Elder Draconian Worm Mage. I will remember that enemy type for the rest of my playthrough. Okay. No worries, but we are making progress. There we go. Oh, that nasty stun. It's a fire mage. Yeah, I don't have much. I need stun resistance. I need stun resistance. That's the key. I need stun resistance. 100%. 100%. I need stun resistance. That's the next stat that I should care about. Stun resistance. Because I'm like a quite fragile blast cannon. As I've said. High damage. No resistance. Here, you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it did. But if I get stunned, I cannot do that. That's the thing. That's the thing, people. That's the thing. Here we go. There we go. I need to touch them for my build to be effective. There we go. Yeah, I also should add more lifesteal, maybe. I think I had a relic for that. I need lifesteal and stun resistance. With those, I should be able to... With those, I should be able to deal with... Oh, a legendary. With those, I should be... See, that I just touched them, like that. Should be able to get through them. Break the angle, like the line of sight here for a sec. And now they die in one blow as the poison dealt its damage. Nice! Nice! Oof! A purple legendary. That's not common. That's not common, people. Alright, I have another. I have a bit more of time to get to the ending, people. I have a bit more of time to get to the ending. There. Alright. Let me check. Oh, ominous music sounds. Usao Barrens. I've already lost track of... There we go. Main quest updated under Usao Mountain. Oh, we're getting there to the end. Alright, we'll finish this chapter now. We'll finish the chapter, people. Let me grab some more water. We'll get to the final boss. Fortunately, I'm out of that forest that had the stupid lag in that sense. I'm glad that I'm out of the stupid forest there. Nice. Okay. Find Typhon's prison. Yeah, it's pretty much the ending. We'll finish the main story. Well, maybe I can leave only the final boss fight for next time and I start the expansion. I'm gonna start the... I don't think it will demand me the Mortal Throne expansion that was released back in the day. I think it will only demand me the Norse expansion. The problem is that I don't know if I will have the level. I can go to the arena and level up a bit off stream then if needed to compensate, but we are performing quite well for our level with my build in that sense. But as I said, I think that if we get through the main story, and I can jump straight into the Norse expansion, which is the one that they updated. Shit, where the... Yeah, I need to be careful with those Asian draconians. They kind of like all gang killed me with all of the lances there. No, no, I'm not losing that experience. I don't think so. Killing me won't be that easy for you. There we go. I also drained the mana. That's the key. They couldn't perform their special attacks. I think I'll get to the... We're close to the final boss of the base game. Definitely of this region. Then I can leave Typhon and the Norse expansion for next time. And with those, I should be able to access the Norse expansion. Should be with the Norse expansion. I can access the legendary difficulty. And then we can have we'll have a good spectacle once we reach the Ember's expansion and the legendary difficulty. I don't know how many people would be interested in checking it out, but yeah, I am definitely interested. That's for sure. There we go, there we go, there we go. Damn it, there we go. Nice. The lag completely went away as I got out of the forest. This is absolutely crazy. There we go. Magnificent. Right there, right there. Perfect. Perfect. Come on, come on, we're close to the end. It also increases my movement speed, the build. That's the key. Should be able to get through it, people. There. They are level 66. Damn it, I'm dealing damage 11 levels above me. I'm dealing high damage 11 levels above me. That is brutal. I think they are already dead. Yeah, let's help. Let's accelerate the process. Here we go. Oh. Wusao Caverns. Alright. There we go. Those ones, level 62. No, the other ones were level 66. This one, 66. The Plague Lord. There. Here we go. Careful. Careful. Attention. Attention, people. I smell boss fight. Oh, I love this zone. So dark. Nicely designed. I didn't remember this zone. Looks amazing. Looks absolutely amazing, people. Wouldn't you say? Like these hellish holes. It reminds me of Hellgate Landing as well. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. The obsidian holes? Oh! They're getting into the depths of hell, people. Here you can see the influence of Diablo. See how it slows the attack speed as well. This is my defense, really. The thing is that that still involves attacking them. I don't have the AoE to kind of like the ranged damage to kind of like stop them from afar. I need to make contact with them. If I can make contact, there's little they can do against me. Problem is when they attack from afar and they stand from afar. Stands from afar. Oh, I ran out of potions. Damn it! Now it's not the moment to run out of potions. We're pretty much at the end. It's not the moment to run out of potions, people. Of course, I'm having a high frequency of potion spending because of playing a level that is not appropriate for. That is way above my. That is way above my. My own level is way above my capabilities. But my build is pushing through. Alright, this should be enough. I'm also getting a lot of money. I started at 21 million. And we are at 37. Alright, let's get to it. I'm finishing it today. I'll leave everything ready for I don't know if you will ask me for the Norse expansion or the Immortal Throne expansion or whatever, but I'll leave it all ready to finish the base game next time, and with the and with any expansion that it requires to access the legendary difficulty. I want to leave it ready. Here we go. See, these ones are dying so fast. It depends on. Oof, the dragons. That type of enemy has killed me in the past, so we'll be careful. Around it. Come on, poison. Do your thing. Yes, reduce the damage. There, that was quite fast. Same goes for you. Perfect. Impeccable, people. I love my build. He's pushing through. Difficulty 10 levels above it. Oh! Sepulchral Worm, 62. Damn it, those hit quite hard. I killed one though. Look at that. I killed one. I killed one there. I killed one there. Damn it, there should be a fountain. This is a lot. Maybe I can deploy a portal to... In case I die, I should deploy a portal. What was that experience? Stone of Mastery, no. Well, yeah. Yeah. It should also be beneficial if I used the environmental boosts as well. I think there's a fountain there that I skipped. No. What the? What's that? Meteor rainfall. Isn't there a fountain? That's the icon of a fountain, but there's no fountain. Well, who cares? I will deploy a portal, more or less. I'll deploy a portal, people. I'll deploy a portal more or less where we left at. More or less here, so I don't have to do that again. There, just in case I get killed. Just in case I get killed again. There. That way I will progress faster. Throw it. I'll try not to die, of course. But again, I'm a glass cannon. Sometimes it's unavoidable. See. Oh. Wrong turn. Here. Oh, it will be a wrong turn for you, that's for sure. Brilliant. Alright. I went through here. Yeah, I should farm a bit of experience, but I'm not doing that. I will just... We have enough with the things that I'm killing in my way. Through it. There I see my tomb. You are not killing me again. Ah, it's a flamethrower there. The dragon breath. The fire breath of the dragons. So I go around them. I drain their mana. Yeah, I rushed it a bit. My bad. Yeah, pretty much I rushed it a bit there. I rushed it a bit because if I had I avoided that, it would have been much. I would have killed them quite fast. All dead, quite fast. Oh, I was right close to the exit. Deploy another portal. You currently have another portal in the world? Yes, there we go. I know, well, here we have fountain. Okay, I was just unlucky. I died right before a fountain. Was right at the limit there. Quite unusual. Yep, quite unusual build. It is. This one enhances poison damage, I think. Shrine of Thanatos, yeah, I think it enhances poison damage. That will be extremely OP for me. Yeah, it's killing them quite fast. Come on, let's make use of it. Essence of Thanatos Wolf, right? Jack Sprout from the player's body. Okay, okay. Well, people. Damn it, these caverns are quite long. I didn't remember this zone, honestly. This game, you know what this game also always reminded me of? It reminds me of Age of Mythology. Shit. There we go. Slow. And dead. Yes. They had a mage. And it's also dead. See? Learning. Yeah, then it's also the thing that I have to deal with the stream, and sometimes as you talk you don't concentrate that much. But yeah, that's the thing. See, here I can avoid it. Wait for the cooldown of the potion. Execute. Poison does its job. They're 10 levels above me, that's the key. Aha. 56. Well, these ones are 56, the smaller ones. It scales with the size of the enemies. That's something typical of this game. The bigger the enemy, the more level it has. The fire breath, we avoid it. Kill there, avoid the other fire breath. It's way too OP. Alright. We turn them around. Kill this one. I think I drained the mana from that one. Avoid this one. This one. The mana drain should do its shit. The fire. Damn it! Alright, let's go. Way too many dragons. Way too many dragons, people. Okay, I think the poison killed them anyways. Yep, there were more than 3. There were like 5. Yep, the poison killed them in the end. Look at that. Look at that, people. And I have 5 skill points that I haven't used. Imagine when I use them. I'll use them for next stream. I like distributing them. No, wait for the potion. Wait for. You have no more mana. Well, then it's a perfect moment to kill you. You have 62. Okay. There you go. Magnificent. Experience Shrine? Yes, Experience Shrine. Stone of Mastery. No, it enhances damage. It enhances damage. My lord, this cave is massive. But the build is working, eh? Here, we avoid. We lure them. Rotate around it. Damage. Shit. Here. Dead. Right, I have to deal with the dragons. First. Oh, that one lost all of its mana before he could do anything. Look at that, people. Oof. I think I got a legendary one there. A TL legendary. I think I got a TL legendary. Where is it? I've been stolen. I know it's an arcane formula. Fuck you. No. No. Oof. There we go. We made it, people. We made it. The Telkin and the Titan. Oh no. He's been liberated. And now the Telkin. Telkin final boss fight. Well, the final one is a Titan that you saw there, but this one is quite tough as well. You will see this brutality. 63 and see how much damage he's dealing. Wait, it's not moving there. I know it's the slow. It's being slowed in its attacks because of my build. Sorry people, it does so many things. Alright, it was a slowed. It was a slowed, It's just that it happened so fast that I didn't realize. Yeah, it was a slowed and it couldn't cast. First try! Nice. Would you look at that? Damn it! I feel bad that Tom had to go and he couldn't see the build in its full potential there. It slowed it down so much that it couldn't move. Enter the mysterious portal, to Olympus. What time is it, people? 8:54. All right. 8:54. I could do the final boss fight now. I think it was just this, or are they? No. There. Alright. There are some more enemies. I thought it was just a clear path to the final boss fight. Okay, no, it's a bit late for me. Sorry, people. Disrupted. Oh, the disruption begins. I remember that state. It starts at this moment. Oh, I used 80 potions, yes, as you can see. Oh, come on, die already. Ah, my potion. My potion is not activated. Probably because I came to a new zone. This is the final zone of the base game. Die. Ah, there, the stun, it worked. Nice. Brilliant. So, okay. Ah, they disrupted my poison. That's why it deactivates my poison. Shit. Okay, let me make it to the next fountain. There should be a fountain here. So, because if I have to do all of that again, I will feel terribly stupid. Let me get to the next final. To the next final fountain of the game, like here. All right, people. Anyways, I'm running out of potions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you from the bottom of my heart once again to Patrick at the beginning of the stream for visiting me. This was officially my first stream as affiliate on Twitch, so I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. As I promised, once I get through the whole process, I will add one more day of metaphysical analysis to the game on Mondays. We'll do a rearrangement. Thanks from the bottom of my heart to Flying Energies as well. From the bottom of my heart for the incredible raid of 14 people. And finally, deep thanks to Tom Aska for being the first official affiliate follower ever of the channel at number 54. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the three of you. Anyone who might have taken the time in general to watch this as a YouTube VOD or a Twitch VOD, and in general, anyone who might have spent even a second of their time watching the stream. Also, thanks to Discord members, to Crowbar and Pekar, and always from the bottom of my heart that you do me a lot of company there as well as we share the games. So deep, deep thanks to all of you. We will continue the metaphysical analysis of Drakensang online next time. Next time. Um, Once I get through all of the process of affiliation. As I've said, this was officially the first stream as affiliate for the channel, people. So thanks, deep thanks from the bottom of my heart to the three of you. Patrick always. Uh, um, I hope the streams you always take something good from them. That you tell me that they're incredible. I love them. To Flying Energies, of course, that he's an angel. I wish I could rate him, but the time zone is exactly the opposite, as he's 5-6 hours ahead of me. And to Tom there at the end, that he also played the game. Um, So yeah, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and we'll continue next week with the metaphysical analysis. Today I didn't do much of an analysis for the game, people, but because it's leisure gameplay here on during Thursdays. But well, that is the idea, people. It's been my pleasure. Hope you all have a great weekend. Anyone watching this as a YouTube bot or a Twitch bot, um, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and see you all on next week. See you all next week. Have a great weekend, people. Bye bye, and deeply appreciate all of your company. There we go. Bye bye, people. Have a great weekend. Bye bye. We'll continue with the analysis later next week. Don't you worry. We'll go. Bye bye, people. Bye bye. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, people. Hope you enjoy it. We'll continue with the analysis of Drakensang online next week. Have a great weekend. Bye bye, people. Bye bye. Bye bye. We'll finish the plan for Titan Quest is to finish the final boss here. I'll leave it ready here for the final boss. Then I don't know if it will ask me for the Norse expansion, the Northern expansion, the Ragnarok expansion, or the Hades expansion, the Immortal Throne expansion, and then we can get into Legendary difficulty and uh, finally access the Embers expansion on Legendary difficulty. That's pretty much the idea. People, it's been a pleasure. See you all next week when we'll continue with the metaphysical analysis of